In 1944, a P-38 Lightning disappeared into this sea. No mayday call, no witness, no body. For 80 years, whatever happened in that cockpit remained sealed in darkness, until a robotic eye descended into the deep and found something that should never have survived. Not a weapon, not wreckage, a message written by a man who knew he might never return. If you leave now, you will never hear what it says, or why it waited 80 years to be found.
Beneath the calm blue surface of the Mediterranean, a shape lies frozen in time. As the ROV descends, its lights cut through drifting clouds of silt, revealing metal where only darkness should exist. Slowly, unmistakably, a twin-boom silhouette begins to emerge. This is not a ship. This is not a submarine. It is a Lockheed P-38 Lightning, one of the most iconic American aircraft of World War II, a machine built for speed, distance, and deadly precision, a symbol of a generation of pilots who flew alone, far from home, knowing that every mission might be their last. Off the coast of Corsica, one of these Lightnings never returned. Today, we descend to where its final flight ended, and where the ocean kept its secret for 80 years. The Lockheed P-38 Lightning was unlike any fighter the world had ever seen. Designed in 1939 at Lockheed's Burbank facility, it was the only American fighter aircraft to serve continuously from the beginning of World War II to its final days. Its distinctive twin-boom design housed two powerful Allison V1710 engines, giving it exceptional speed, range, and climb performance. More importantly, it allowed the P-38 to operate where other fighters could not, across vast oceans, long mountain ranges, and deep into enemy territory. The P-38 became a legend in the Pacific, where distance killed more pilots than enemy fire. It was the aircraft flown by America's top two aces of the war, Richard Bong and Thomas Maguire. It was the aircraft chosen for one of the most audacious air missions in history, the 1943 interception that killed Japanese Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the architect of Pearl Harbor. German pilots knew it by a grim nickname, Der Gabelschwanz Teufel, the fork-tailed devil. By 1943 to 1944, the Lightning had also become a critical asset in the Mediterranean. After Corsica was liberated from Axis control, the island was rapidly transformed into a forward Allied airbase. From its rough, hastily constructed airstrips, P-38s flew relentless missions over northern Italy, southern France, and the Ligurian coast, escorting bombers, striking targets, and conducting long-range reconnaissance. But the Mediterranean was unforgiving. Sudden storms formed without warning. Mountain winds created violent turbulence, and the P-38, while powerful, was demanding to fly. Engine failures, icing, and navigational errors claimed aircraft almost daily. Dozens of P-38s were lost across these waters. Many were shot down. Many simply vanished. This aircraft is one of them, and one of the few that remains almost completely intact. The Lightning resting below is believed to have been flown by First Lieutenant Daniel Harlow, a 23-year-old reconnaissance pilot with the 14th Fighter Group. By the summer of 1944, Harlow had completed 13 photo recon missions. On July 12th, he departed Corsica with 3 other P-38s. Weather rapidly deteriorated over open water. Radio contact became intermittent. Then Harlow fell behind the formation. No distress call was recorded. No crash was witnessed. The official report contained only a single sentence: aircraft failed to return. Pilot missing. Like many of the P-38s lost across the Mediterranean, This aircraft carried only one man, and when it vanished, an entire life disappeared with it. The ROV continues downward through layers of deepening blue. Sunlight fades above, replaced by a muted, colorless world. Fine particles drift slowly in the water column, suspended as if time itself has slowed. At first, there is nothing. Then a shadow appears, long, angular, unnatural against the sand. The ROV adjusts its heading, and the wreck comes fully into view. A wing stretches outward, its aluminum skin dulled by decades underwater. Beyond it, two tail booms extend backward in perfect symmetry, framing the central fuselage exactly as they once framed the sky. The aircraft lies upright on the seabed, aligned as if the pilot had tried to bring it down gently. The engine nacelles remain in place. Their curved cowling is still recognizable, remarkably preserved by depth and cold. The propellers are gone, torn away by impact or time, but the structure of the Lightning remains hauntingly complete. We drift closer to the cockpit. The canopy frame is twisted open, its glass long dissolved. Inside, the pilot's seat is still there, coated in marine growth. Control cables vanish into shadow. There is no sign of violent breakup, no scattered debris field, no explosion scars. This was not a sudden death. This was a descent. During the war, the Mediterranean swallowed countless aircraft without leaving a trace. Most were never found. This Lightning is different. Preserved in silence, it rests as if the pilot might return at any moment, frozen in the final seconds of a flight that never ended. Inside the cockpit, the details begin to speak. The control yoke remains in place, angled slightly to the left, a final correction, frozen in metal. The throttle quadrant is still identifiable beneath layers of corrosion. Torn harness straps hang loosely, swaying gently with the current. The instrument panel has collapsed inward, but the faint outlines of gauges can still be traced beneath sediment. The ROV lowers its lights. Near the floor, between the rudder pedals, something reflects the beam. Not metal, but glass. The camera pauses. The ROV moves closer, slowly, deliberately. It is a small, sealed glass vial, no larger than a thumb. Clouded by time, but unbroken. Inside, tightly folded, lies a piece of paper. Browned, fragile, unmistakably human. This is not military equipment. This is not part of the aircraft. This is personal. During World War II, many pilots carried small objects into the cockpit. Photographs, letters, reminders of home. Items light enough to fit in a pocket, heavy enough to matter. This vial appears to be one of them, deliberately sealed, carried close to the body. The ROV adjusts its angle. The light catches faint lines of handwriting. For a moment, the camera lingers in silence. Then the words become visible. If I don't make it home, tell her I kept her letter with me on every flight. It reminded me why I wanted to return. A private message, never meant for history, never meant for the sea. The ROV holds its position, as if unwilling to disturb the moment. 80 years have passed, yet the meaning remains intact. This aircraft did not simply carry weapons and fuel, it carried memory, fear, hope, and love. The camera pulls back, tracing the length of the Lightning once more. Along the starboard boom, a deep crease runs through the metal, consistent with structural stress from asymmetric engine failure, a known danger for P-38 pilots. The wing's trailing edge is folded beneath the fuselage, suggesting a controlled ditching rather than a catastrophic impact. This wreck is not a trophy of war. It is a preserved human moment. A pilot, a storm, a decision, and a message that waited 80 years to be heard. Off the coast of Corsica, this P-38 Lightning rests in a silence it never found in 1944. No engine roar, no radio calls, only the slow rhythm of the Mediterranean, moving around a machine that once carried a single life into war. Many P-38s were lost across these waters. Most were never recovered. Their pilots vanished without witnesses, without graves, without answers. But here, one story remains, held in aluminum, glass, and paper, preserved long enough to be seen again. As the ROV retreats and the twin-boom silhouette fades back into blue darkness, the ocean closes gently around it once more. The war ended above the surface, but below, its echoes remain. Echoes from the deep. Stories the ocean never forgot.